How's it, chaps? So I've had a few requests on a little user manual for the Camo, or Carpediem's version of it. There's a few tweaks that I do. So here's the basic rundown. So obviously you're going to get a boat from us. Depending if you've got lipos or a standard battery in there. This is going to be your main battery port. Okay, it's going to be for your backup battery. I don't have mine plugged in, and if you've got a fish finder, most of the time there's a separate battery for that too. Okay, so I'm running 4 cells on my boat. Your main power switch, LEDs, and the spinner. Okay, I've got an aftermarket antenna installed on mine, and yeah, so the first things first is put your batteries in. If you're going to use the backup or whatever it may be, put your batteries in. Turn your remote on. Okay, so your remote will ask you to put all your switches in the up position and to put your throttle down. Okay, my boat has got reverse, so it's centered. So yours most likely won't have reverse. It would be in that down position. Okay, now that's happiness. So on our configuration, I want this switch back to middle again. Okay, I'll tell you now why. So that's back to middle, and then you can switch your boat on. It'll register the lipos. Great, then you're good to go. So on mine I've got forward and reverse. Alright, so that's going to be forward and reverse. Left and right. Okay. And then right on this will be the bucket. So your right stick is to drop your bait bucket. And then the way we've configured this, why it's centered now, is up is going to be your battery backup. And you'll see the solenoids being clicked into place here. Battery backup, and spinner is down. I just prefer this because when you want to use your battery backup, you don't have to hold the stick the whole time. And your spinner as well, you tend to hit this by mistake while loading your bait, for instance. So if we put our spinner on now, you'll see that if I push it down, it's our spinner. And then up will be the battery backup. Cool, so that's why we do that. Then I use throttle hold on our boats, and the reason for that is when you've got a fish finder installed, you want the transducer to run at a nice constant horizontal plane, so you don't want the boat to go too fast. And obviously holding the throttle and trying to steer, your boat's all over the place. It's not constant. So if we use this switch here, it keeps the boat at a constant plane, a constant speed, and your throttle will not work. Only your steering will work once it's activated, which then keeps the boat nice and steady. So you'll see I can only go left and right, which is great. Okay, so that we use for the fish finder and to find nice structure, etc. So if you want to configure the speed on that, you're going to go into your menu. All right, so if you hold in your OK here, you're going to go into your, use this to navigate across, up and down. You're going to go into your setup menu, and you're going to go down to throttle hold over there. You can say OK, and you can see it's on. You can either put it on or off. All right, and then you can set your value. Mine's on 61%, so you can change it up and down. So you'll see if I put it on, you can change your speed to whatever's comfortable for you. And then once you're happy with that, you hold cancel in. Okay, and then it's changed that value. Alright. Then on our boats as well, we've got that's your internal battery on the remote. That's an external battery optional that measures the voltage of the boat battery. So I'm running a 4-cell LiPo, mine's in storage mode. That's my voltage. If I want to change that, maybe you're using different cell batteries or whatever it may be, hold OK in again, go into setup menu, scroll down to RX setup, enter, scroll down to RX battery, enter, and then you can change everything here. So it's an external sensor, and then I can change all my values up and down here. Okay, so you set your high point, your alarm point, your low point. Once you've got everything set up to the way you want it, hold cancel, and that will save that value. Cool, and then obviously some boats will have fail-safe depending on what the client wants. So if you turn the boat off, it will then do circles until you pick up signal again. Alright, my boat doesn't have that because I use a GPS system, so I don't want that to interfere. Yeah, and then that's that. And then, yeah, then of course your batteries, how to charge them and how to look after them is the most important thing. So you come to your charger here, which is what you're going to be supplied with. And you're going to go switch it on and you're going to select your program. So if you've got a standard battery, a normal lead acid battery, you're going to select PB, which I was on now. Okay, PB mode. For your lead acid, you push enter. Obviously they're going to be plugged into your main power point coming out, and you can select how many amps you want to charge it at. Obviously the slower you charge it at, the better, but depending on how much time you have. So if you've got a 7 amp hour battery, you can comfortably charge it at 6 amps. I think it only goes up to 6, but like I say, slower is always better. And then you're going to change, make sure it's on 6P because it's a 6-cell battery. Hold enter in and then it'll charge that battery up. Okay, and then if you've got a LiPo, we're going to go to the LiPo menu, LiPo battery, always balance charge. You're going to plug the battery into here again, and you're going to plug the balance port into this little board, and you're going to choose the relevant information. So I've got a 4-cell LiPo, so it's 4S. It's a 5000 milliamp or a 2200 milliamp battery, and you just hold enter in, and then it'll check the battery, and then you just push enter and it'll charge the battery. So you always balance charge the day before on the day. Don't keep your batteries charged all the time because they will swell and deteriorate. So charge the day before, like I say, and then after your session you must always store the battery. So you're going to go into LiPo again, and you're going to say storage, and you're going to put all the same information about the battery in there, and push enter and store the battery for your next session. My batteries are like five years old and still going strong, so it's just looking after them is the most important thing. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've covered all avenues. Yeah, and enjoy it, and if you have any questions, you're always welcome to just drop me a line.